Jake Roberts making his return to the WWE. And if you guys recall, one of the last times that Jake Roberts had anything to do with the WWE, it was back in 2005, if I'm not mistaken, as he was involved in a segment with Randy Orton, and it was the highlight reel hosted by Chris Jericho. And that's really a YouTube. Look it up if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but that was like one of the more worst experiences that WWE had in dealing with Jake Roberts. And Jake Roberts was just going all over the place. He was just slurring, and he just really seemed out of his element when he was in the ring with Randy Orton. Leave it to Randy Orton, though, to really help save that segment as he delivered a RKO to the future WWE Hall of Famer. But that was pretty much the last time that we had saw Jake Roberts in the ring. And, of course, we've heard about all the dark stories about this guy. We know that he's been battling his demons, drugs, alcohol, you name it. And DDP Yoga has just really been doing wonders for this guy. He's really found a new passion, a new drive in life, and leave it to him to just throw the swerve ball that he was able to throw at the WWE Universe through social media, saying it doesn't look as though WWE is going to be inducting him into the Hall of Fame. It doesn't look as though WWE doesn't want to have anything to do with him as far as the old school Raw edition had went. And here he is. He makes an appearance. And, you know, I was just so marking out like the little kid that I was in the 80s, seeing Jake Roberts. And it was really just goosebumps all over seeing Jake Roberts in that moment. So damn good. I actually rewinded to that final segment where he came out, not once, not twice, but at least 4 times I had watched it. So I probably watched it 5 times if you include when the show was originally live. And it was just a damn good moment right there. But you know, the Baltimore crowd, the Baltimore, Maryland crowd, they absolutely sucked. Let me tell you, the Baltimore crowd, they sucked. And this is coming from one that actually resides in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I can honestly tell you guys that, you know, and it kind of frustrates me because when you think about the history, and for those of you that might be much younger and you're not that familiar with WWE's history here in the nation's capital, I dare say you want to make it be your business to pick up, I would say, the history of the WWE Championship. I would say pick up the book. I actually have the DVD, but I've yet to watch it, so I don't know if they cover it in the DVD. I'll probably actually watch the DVD tonight now that I'm talking about this, but I know for certain it's in the book. They talk about the history of the WWF and how the promotion was being run by Vince McMahon Sr. and how he was basically setting up shop here in the nation's capital and all that. And you know, Shane McMahon was born in Gaithersburg, Maryland. So there's a lot of history here for the WWE in the metropolitan area, definitely with the connection to Maryland especially. And I just thought it was so damn nerve-wracking to see Jake Roberts come out, and the Baltimore crowd, they're just there, and they just have this perplexed look on their face like, yeah, who is this guy? Like, are we supposed to know him? What's going on with CM Punk, New Age Outlaws, and The Shield? What's going on with that? That's basically how they acted. And then even when Jake the Snake got in there and he pulled out the snake, then it kind of really should have clicked in everybody's head that, oh, snap, it's Jake the Snake Roberts. And even when he pulled out the snake, everybody still wasn't quite clicking at the same time. And it was really one of those awkward moments that just really had me go, damn, you know what? The Baltimore crowd was not deserving of seeing Jake the Snake Roberts. WWE, they really should have paid attention to how the crowd reactions was going during the course of the night, seeing as how this was the first Raw that we got live in several weeks, if I'm not mistaken. You know, WWE, they should have said, you know what? this is not the right crowd. We're not going to get the right type of buzz. Let's hold back on it for a little bit. And I wouldn't have blamed them for it. If you would have told me, hey, Lee, it looks like Jake the Snake was backstage at the old school Raw edition, I would have said, really? And see the pictures afterwards. I would have thought that was honestly fine, because the Baltimore crowd, they really kind of sucked. DC crowd is usually better than the Maryland crowd. Virginia, they're usually better than the Baltimore crowd as well. I've been paying attention to how often WWE comes through here, and I would have to say, if I were to rank the metropolitan fans, I would have to say DC's number one, Virginia number two, BMORE, Maryland, you guys are number three. And really, that's a modest number three. If I could have you guys a little bit lower than that, I definitely would. And it's kind of funny because some people thought that what I was saying might have been a little bit too critical of the fans, but when you've been living out here as long as I have, and you just are, vividly about the wrestling history of the WWE and this area, you would kind of expect more from the fans. But somebody brought up a very valid point, which is, this really could just come down to the generation gaps. And that is definitely a very good argument. I am not going to even try to dispute that. I think right on to the person that said that. But Jake Roberts, he definitely was not deserving to appear there in front of that crowd. Somebody had said, what was the crowd after WrestleMania this year? Whatever that crowd was, that was the crowd that honestly we should have had for Jake Roberts, because they would have given him that moment. Yeah, I agree 100%. If it would have been in front of a crowd like that, yeah, they definitely could have gone in that direction. We were talking about it on WWE Fan Nation's page, because they actually had uploaded the video where Jake Roberts had made his return. So if you go look it up on YouTube at WWE Fan Nation, you'll definitely, just on that clip alone, guys, you'll actually see there's a ton of people, including us, that were talking about how the fans basically fucked that moment up for Jake Roberts. I mean, it was really bad when you kind of play it back, because he even had to point to the bag as he was getting ready to pull out the snake, trying to work the crowd, and it just was not clicking with them. But you guys get the gist. Other than that, though, one other thing that we should talk about, seeing Jake Roberts back in the WWE, one obvious question that has to come into mind, which is, does this mean that Jake Roberts and WWE officially have a line of communication open to the point where he is now a candidate for the 2014 WWE Hall of Fame? And one of the things that I can't help but ask is just how instrumental, if any, was Diamond Dallas Page in getting Jake Roberts on Raw this past Monday night. I really think that that's a question that we need to put out there, because remember, Diamond Dallas Page, he's been doing everything that he can to try to help Jake stay on the right path, keep him out of trouble. And you got to really commend DDP. He's just been doing a phenomenal job with Jake Roberts, definitely with Scott Hall, but I would really say the edge goes more so to Jake Roberts. And whether or not DDP had something to do with this, I'm sure in the coming weeks we will know. But I would hope that with this appearance that Jake Roberts made on Monday Night Raw, it's not really a case where Jake Roberts only appeared for one night and one night only. I'm really hoping that it's not. I'm hoping that this definitely has created some type of a line of communication to the point that we're definitely going to be seeing him inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And honestly, I think Jake Roberts is deserving of going into the Hall of Fame. This is a guy who really, he should have been in it a long time ago. And we know he was battling his demons, and it seems like for the most part he's been doing a really good job staying on top of himself and trying to do the right thing. He's got a really good support group that's going on right now, And hopefully, things will come around and Hall of Fame time, he will get that induction, of course. It's still a little bit too early to talk about what's going to be going on in the WWE Hall of Fame. Probably maybe around Elimination Chamber, as I believe that's the last pay-per-view that comes about. Maybe then we'll go on ahead and we'll talk about it.